Hey there guys, this is Pickleball Willie, and today I wanted to do an episode of what's inside my pickleball bag. I had to do a few changes because I've been testing so many different paddles now. I actually had to take a separate approach and take a tote bag with me when I am testing paddles. So today I'm only going to be talking about what's actually inside my bag, the things that I actually bring to pickleball every single time. These are all the paddles that I actually like playing with and I feel the most consistent with. They resonated with me the most, so I keep them in my bag, as well as some accessories, as well as the shoes that I bring. Once again, I'll be sharing all of the products in the links down below, as well as any codes that may save you a little bit of money for that product. Some of them I have affiliate codes, some of them I don't. Some of them might be direct from the manufacturer, some might be from Amazon. So whatever I can find or whatever code that I have, I will link them in the description. And also, if you have any recommendations for accessories or products to try, please comment down below which ones you think I should do next. All right, to start off, it comes as no surprise, but I didn't change my pickleball bag. I still go with the forward court caddy. I have the older version before they changed their logo, but it's really not too different from the newer version. Right now, I think they sell these for $350 off retail, but they're usually 15 to 20% off, so you can usually find them for under $300. I did end up taking off this front pouch just because it sagged a little bit too much and it made it a little bit far away from the body, so it felt like it was unnecessary weight to be adding to the bag. Other than that, the only thing I added was this little horse charm onto the bag for the new year. Another thing I did add was this card holder, which has the forward luggage tag on it. These were gifted to us from Forward, and it's like a nice little touch for the bag with your information on it, as well as my pickleball channel. So with the new year comes some new accessories that I've been carrying inside the bag. The main ones are these snap weights. I actually have just started trying them. These are like the slice side weights, kind of mirrored after the MOI tuning system from Selkirk, but these are kind of 3D printed and kind of just snap on to the side of the paddle. The obvious problem is if the paddle is not the right size, it will not stay on correctly. And this can be kind of finicky, especially if the paddle's not exactly the right size. They do slide around quite a bit. But if they do work, and it's usually right around that 16 millimeter mark where these work, they actually work pretty nice, and they are a quick and easy way to just snap it onto a paddle and snap it off. Let me take one out as an example. So right here, we have one of the paddles in my bag, the Gator Strike Armor. And just to snap this on, you just kind of put it onto the side and you can just snap it on. And it's just as easy as that. And usually, if the edge guard is just a little bit wider, it hugs it a little bit tighter and does not slide around like this. But if it isn't quite as thick and tight, it does seem to slide around a little bit. It moves around, so it can be hit or miss depending on if that paddle size is right. So I've been using paddle butt caps for a while now. I don't actually think they work quite as well as I think they always do. So I'm probably going to be taking this out after I use this last one that I have. These end up not changing enough for me from the paddle. I really don't feel like these butt caps do as much as I think. I usually end up taking them off and just adding more tape anyway. So this might be end of life for me in my pickleball bag. Next up, I got some tungsten tape, and this is from Beyond Measure. I finally got tungsten tape that is 0.5 gram per inch. It's kind of nice because on the side of the packaging, it gives you the measurements for how much an inch is and how many grams that would be, so that when you do cut them, you know exactly how long to cut them. This comes with 60 inches, which is a little bit above average from Amazon. So I think this is a nice little deal from Beyond Measure. So grips, I usually keep a pack of 6 in my bag, and the ones that I'm keeping right now are these forward overgrips. This set comes with the premium tacky overgrip and the dry overgrips. I've mainly been using the tacky overgrip and I think the tacky overgrip is really good. I honestly don't usually like when it's too sticky, but this one is actually not bad. It feels pretty good. And I think I will give the dry one a try because I do get sweaty palms sometimes, not enough to where the paddle will slide off my hand, but it is kind of sticky. That brings me to the next item in my bag, and that's this Grip It hand gripping spray. So if you've never tried hand grip spray, it's kind of interesting. It kind of feels like when you get tree sap on your hand, it gives it that really tacky feeling, and it's really sticky and it's really hard to get off. Once you do want to get it off, you just put a little bit of dish soap and wash away the tackiness on your hand. This helps a lot if you have really, really sweaty hands. You can kind of just spray a little bit on your hands, rub them together, and then it'll just kind of dry it out and give you that tackiness so you can still grip your paddle nicely. Now, I did worry that it would get on the O grips, and it does a little bit, so you do have to be aware of that. You kind of want to dry it out before you get onto the paddle. Other than that, I will continue to test this to see if this is actually very useful. Next up, I have the Eyewear arm sleeve and my knee sleeve. I keep these in my bag just in case anything is feeling a little bit off. I can just put it on to give it a little bit more stability. Although I haven't had to use the arm sleeve as much anymore, especially since foam paddles right now are so good at stability, and it doesn't really send as much feedback into your arm. So my arm does feel like it does not need this as much. Also, I've been doing those exercises with the TheraBand, so it might have helped with that. The knee sleeve I also have not been using as much. I've been trying to do more wall sits to give myself the ability to resist any knee pain. All right, next up, I still carry a paddle eraser. Paddle erasers are always nice to have just so that you can extend the life of your paddle. Just a quick wipe onto the face will knock off all of that dust and debris that settles on your paddle face. If you see any of that fuzzy stuff on your paddle face, it's usually just microscopic rocks or material from the ball that gets onto your paddle. And you do want to wipe that away so that you can make the carbon face last a little longer. Next up is electrolytes. I got this from my wife's aunt who went to France, and they had these cool lemon flavored electrolytes. She's allergic to citrus, that's why I have them. But these are really nice. They're tablets, you throw them inside of water and they kind of bubble up and make some nice, almost fizzy like water feeling. They're called Aqua Pops. If I can find them, I'll put them in the description. And then of course, Mizu Labs. These are the Asian flavored electrolytes that we have. And I absolutely love drinking these. These actually taste really good. I've been more aware of when I'm taking these electrolytes as well. If I'm playing for a long time, I definitely want to have at least one of these while I'm playing. It actually does help, especially if you're not eating a lot before playing pickleball. These kind of keep you going long enough and keep you kind of focused enough in that game. So next, let's talk about the paddles in the bag. And I already took this one out, so I'll start with this one. So I have the Gator Strike Armor. I keep this in my bag mainly because I love the feel, the stability, and forgiveness on this paddle. It just feels really easy to play with this paddle. Now, I will say it can be difficult to generate a lot of power with this paddle. It doesn't have quite as much pop as some of the power paddles that I am going to show you from my bag. So it is more of a control paddle that is very easy to play with. And honestly, I love playing with this paddle. I usually bring this out whenever I want to slow down the game and dictate pace. So this is definitely a very strong paddle and I've absolutely loved it. If you've never tried it and you can get your hands on trying one, I definitely recommend trying one, especially just to feel how big a sweet spot can actually be on one of these Gen 4 paddles. Next up is a new paddle in my bag that just recently came out, and that's the J6CR. This thing is absolutely incredible. When you hit drives on this thing, they feel like they stay so low, and it's so interesting to watch what normally would lift to like 6 to 10 inches, only lift like 4 to 6. That's definitely not a bad thing when you're at the baseline trying to hit drives as low as possible towards that net. It just makes it so much easier to kind of confidently drive and crash, or drive and kind of move in a little bit if you know that like a low drive is going in. It'll be very difficult for your opponents to give it back without popping it up or having to slow it down quite a bit. Next up is also a new paddle in the bag, and that is the Warping Point Phoenix. Now, this paddle was kind of conundrum when I first started playing with it. It felt extremely poppy. The power created with this is very easy. Like, you do not have to swing hard to get a lot of power. But the issue was that it did feel a little stiff in the beginning, so it needed to break in. It just felt like everything was popping up. And so power hits, soft hits, touches were just very difficult in the beginning. But once you kind of tune in on how this paddle plays, it actually plays very nicely. And I think it has quite a bit of pop. It's kind of like a Cannon's level of pop and power, but maybe even magnified a little bit more. Next up, we have the Aereo Cyclone. Now, if you haven't heard of the Aereo Cyclone, make sure to watch my full review of this paddle, because it actually does feel kind of crazy how much pop and power you get when you're hitting with it. Especially when you're hitting dead center, you're gonna feel that there's what I call burst of energy coming off of that paddle. You're gonna see this ball speed increase by quite a bit, though there are times where it does feel kind of shaky when you hit off center. That's why I think weight is important for this. It actually feels very light in hand as well. For me, when I got this paddle, I didn't add weight right away, and it kind of felt unstable, but adding the weight, it did kind of calm it down a little bit. I also added an extra handle thing onto the grip of the Aereo. It's by Pickleball Grip Doctor. It's called the Wrap, I believe, and it actually has grooves that are kind of shaped like your finger when you're holding the paddle, so that there's just a definite touch point for all of your fingers. It feels really nice when you put it on too. So it feels really nice when you put your hands in it. It just kind of fits into the grooves nicely and gives you a very, very nice grip. Unlike the hexacore, where there's just pockets where you're actually getting those touch points, this is giving you a full like layered grip. And I think that actually works better overall over the hexacore. I've really enjoyed my time with this. Everybody who picks up this grip always compliments how great it feels. I definitely recommend you guys check them out at the very least. The grips are comfortable, and they honestly help with dampening the vibrations quite a bit, and it feels much better on my tennis elbow than any other grip that I've tried. Last but not least, I still keep an RPM Friction Pro in my bag because this paddle is absolutely insane. The version 2 of this paddle, I think, is coming pretty soon, and I will be very interested to see what the differences between this version 1 and the version 2 are. I absolutely love playing with this 16mm version, but I also really love playing with the 14mm version. So sometimes I'll just switch between the two inside my bag. I just really like the RPM Friction Pro. It gives you power when you need it, it gives you touch when you need it. It's very easy to play with, but it's still Gen 3, and most paddles coming out now are Gen 4. I still keep 2 pieces of eyewear in my bag, one for indoor and one for outdoor. So the indoor one are still these kitchen blockers. They've actually been great. I got a new set, got them in black. And one of the only things that I can say are bad about these kitchen blockers are sometimes they will start smelling and stinking up, especially with the pads and all the plastic being there. It kind of absorbs some of the sweat, I think, bacteria. So I did have to start wiping these down every single time just so that they don't collect that smell. And then next, I've been trying these new glasses. Sometimes I play with these indoor, but after about like 45 minutes. I don't know if it's fogging up, but I will say it does start like getting some sweat on the lenses, so I can't really see anyway. I wouldn't say it's necessarily fogging up that much, like maybe at the very top where it's like pressed against my head, I do notice a little bit of fogging strip on there. It's mainly the sweat that's getting into the glass that makes it hard to see. Now, I think these are nice looking glasses. The one claim that they make is that it becomes a little bit easier to see the ball because of how the contrast lenses work. And I do think indoor, if it's bright, it does help a little bit with that contrast. I haven't been able to play too much outdoor recently because there's been a snowstorm where I am. And so we are not playing outdoor during the snowstorm. But I really do think these are quite interesting. Playing outdoor, you're supposed to be able to see the ball better because the contrast on these lenses get a little bit darker, so you can see the difference between the ball even more. It comes in this nice little case, and you can even buy additional lenses that you can put right here. But yeah, I haven't done that. So next up is something I've been really experimenting on, and that is pickleball shoes. I've actually played with this particular set. These are the tie roll drives, and these are definitely one of the best pickleball shoes that I've tried, if not the best pickleball shoes that I've tried so far. I put about 300 hours onto those shoes now, and there's still grip on the bottom of them. And usually around like 150 hours is where a hole will start developing on shoes that I've tried elsewhere. The only other shoes that I've really worn down to that are the Nike Vapors, my first pickleball shoe, some beater Adidas that I bought when it was on sale for like 25 bucks. Those also lasted 150 hours, surprisingly, almost exactly the same as my Nikes. But these shoes have lasted double, and I feel like hold on, let me just show you. Look at that tread. It's still good, right? Like, look at this tread. You can still see tread on that. And honestly, they're very comfortable. I get very minimal toe slippage. So I've really enjoyed my time with these shoes. And there's like this breathable mesh on the bottom so that you don't have to worry about it smelling up as long as it can breathe somewhere. Though you do have to be aware not to walk on water or like wet grass, or else you're just gonna get a bunch of water coming into your foot. Over time, I do feel like the heel is starting to break on mine. I mean, but it's been 300 hours and I can't blame it for kind of wearing down, especially since I'm a pretty big guy. I'm just very surprised that these shoes have held up so nicely. So these were the tie roll drives. I also have their other shoes, so I'll be testing those as well and doing a full review. So if you do want to see the review of these as well as the other shoes, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I will be making those reviews as I finish testing them. I do want to kind of bring these shoes to the end of life, but I didn't expect these shoes to last so long, so it's taking me a lot longer to get this review out than I thought. Last but not least, I carry a set of Lifetime balls with me. If you don't have a set of Lifetime balls, they are a game changer. They last longer than Franklin's, Vulcan's, almost any ball I've tried. I actually got used to the bounce on this, and you know, they go really fast. They fly pretty consistently once you get used to it. And honestly, I can't find any problems with it. I think these balls are probably the best balls out on the market right now that are consistent. I still do like the X40s, but I feel like these are just more fun, and for power paddles, these make it real fun. All right, and so that's what's in my pickleball bag to start off 2026. There's been a lot of paddle changes because there's been so many paddle releases, and as you can see, a lot of those paddles are now foam. So I expect the foam future to be really settling in 2026. Who knows, maybe the whole bag will be full of foam paddles by the end. All right, thanks for watching, guys, and make sure to use any of the links that I have down below. Once again, some of them are affiliate links, some of them are not, some of them are Amazon. Whatever I could find and whatever the best deal is, I'll post them down below in the description. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.